We have a 2001 Audi A4, and we're going to show you how to bleed the brake system. We have this little tool that I made. It's pretty much made for you to bleed the brake system by yourself without anybody's help. We have a regular hose. We'll try to get the hose that withstands chemicals pretty good. The attachment for the brake bleeder valve in the bottle. Stick the hose down into the bottle. Leave a little bit of fluid in the bottle so the fluid works like a check valve, so it doesn't let the air go back into the calipers. Just make sure you have a little bleeder hole on the top of the bottle, otherwise it will keep the air up on top by the caliper itself and won't let you bleed them properly. So this way, when you're gonna be bleeding it, you're just gonna open up the valve, the bleeder valve, put this thing on the bleeder valve. Don't open up too much so it doesn't grab any air through the threads, and just go and start pumping the pedal, making sure that the fluid level is fine, and you won't let the air back into the system. I'll show you in a second how we do that. So here you go. Open the brake fluid tank up. Make sure you always use proper fluids in any car you're working on. Putting the wrong fluid in there may cause damage to the system, and it's gonna be more expensive for you to repair. So top of the brake fluid and start bleeding the brakes. So here you go. We start bleeding the brake system with the wheel that is furthest away from the brake master cylinder, which would be the rear right wheel. Unless you're in England, then it would be your rear left wheel. This guy was gonna need shocks. Oh, got a broken spring over there. So that's the brake caliper. Take the cap off the bleeder valve. It's 11mm bleeder valve. Put your wrench on it. Try not to use open end wrenches. It's very easy to strip or break the bleeder off. Use a socket to break it loose. This one like, I guess it's not frozen at all. Now we put our little tool into the suspension. Loosen the bleeder screw. I'll put the hose on and go back to the car and start pumping. Just make sure your bleeder screw is not too loose, so it doesn't let the air in through the threads. It's got to be just a little bit loose, just so the fluid could come out through the end of it. So we have somebody in the car who's gonna pump the pedal for us. If you have somebody that could help you, that would be the greatest and the best. But if you don't have anybody to help you, you could try to do it our way with this bottle check valve thing, and then just check the pedal and make sure the pedal is good and firm. It should be alright. So here you go. This is how it works. Pump. See, we have fluid coming out. Over a little bit of time, this air bubble is gonna go away, and only air-free fluid is gonna be staying in that part of the hose. See how we have it looped around, so it takes it a little bit faster for this big bubble to actually get into the bottle. So now when he's pumping, even when he's letting go the brake pedal, the fluid, the caliper can't grab any air because it has the fluid in the lines and then the hose over here. So pump it until you see the fluid that's coming out is clean and air free, and then you could come out and close the valve. In our case, I'm gonna have him press the pedal down just to make sure 100% that there is no air in. But if you're doing it this way, then there shouldn't be any air in the system. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer, see that the fluid is not that clear yet. That's it, hold! There you go. Now close the bleeder valve. Do not over tighten it. All it needs just to be a little bit tight. Put the cap back on. Clean the caliper and go to the other side. That will be the rear left. So this is the rear left. Break the valve loose. Adjust it so see it's closed, and just back off just a little bit so you could see the fluid coming out. See, it's got some air inside. Somebody didn't bleed it properly when they installed the new caliper. Now start pumping. Pump. Just make sure to check the fluid level and make sure you don't run out of fluid. See, once again the air bubble passed through. We have clear fluid coming out. Make sure there's no air, make sure the fluid is clean. Well, we're replacing the fluid, so we're waiting for the whole to clear out the lines throughout the car. In our case it's very easy. The fluid probably was a racing fluid, as the fluid is a different color, so you could clearly see when you flush the system already. That's it. Hold it. Pay attention to everything around it, around the brakes. Like this guy over here, he's got a problem with the shocks and both side springs are broken. And now go to the front right wheel. So there you go. There's a front right wheel. These little caps become a little bit slippery. Same thing. Loosen the bleeder up. Put the hose on. Start pumping. Pump. Just make sure you do not run out of fluid. And when you pump in the front brakes, the fluid is gonna come out of the tank a lot faster than the rear brakes, just because the volume of the piston is a lot bigger. So make sure to check the fluid level. If you do run out of the fluid in the tank, make sure you bleed all the brakes all over again. Hold. Okay, now the left side. All the wheels are different distance from the brake master cylinder, so as closer you get to the, we're talking in relationship of the brake lines, not the actual distance. But when you get closer to the brake master cylinder, it's gonna take faster for you to bleed the system. The front left wheel is the closest one to the master cylinder, so it just takes several pumps for it to actually flush out all the fluid. Pump. There you go. Just let the bubble go through and watch and see if there's any more bubbles. If there is none, the fluid is clear, you're good to go. Stop. That's it. Check and make sure the brake pedal is firm and go for a test drive. Make sure nothing's leaking before you go for a test drive.